Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Chaos with Jackie. So tonight we are going to make another low carb recipe. It is called egg roll in a bowl. So this is something you can find recipes all over Pinterest. I know there's some YouTube people that make it. I want to show you my spin on it. It is pretty simple, not a lot of ingredients, and you can add or take away whatever you want to. So like I said, I just want to show you my version. So it is all of the goodness inside of an egg roll without the wrapper. Now, I know the wrapper is good because it's crispy and it's fried, but it's carb heavy and we're just not going to do that. So this way you can still have those Asian flavors and your favorite Chinese takeout, but we're going to put it into a bowl and eat it. So that's what George and I are going to have for dinner tonight. So I'm going to show you the ingredients that we're going to use. So come on and play with me. Let's go make egg roll in a bowl. Okay, so let's meet our cast of characters for tonight's dinner. I have a pound of ground pork, and this is one I just got from the grocery store. I went to the butcher there, and they actually grind their own pork, so that's really nice. It's not too fatty, and it'll give a really good flavor to this. I also have some coleslaw that is pre-shredded. And you can, if you have a head of cabbage, it's really inexpensive. You can shred it yourself in the food processor, or you can buy pre-shredded cabbage. This is one that I just happen to have in the refrigerator. So we're going to use that. I'm also going to use some shishito peppers. Now this is something, again, I bought. It was on sale. I was like, well, let's just try them and see what happens. So we're going to use some of them. They are not hot. They are mild. They said they're kind of like a mild jalapeno. So we're going to have that. We also have a little bit of liquid aminos, which is what we're going to use instead of soy sauce. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. I have some garlic, a little bit of ginger, and some white onion. I'm only going to use probably about a half of this. Now, normally I would use green onions, but I did not have any in the fridge. Again, this is one of those, it's what I have in the house, and that's what we're going to use. I don't want to buy extra ingredients if I don't have to make something for dinner. This is one I kind of had the stuff going, and I said, I could make the egg roll in a bowl with that. So that's how we roll in this kitchen. So come along with me and let's make this, okay? All right, so I'm just getting everything together here for our egg roll in a bowl. One of the things I wanted to go ahead and show you is how to peel and chop your ginger. Actually, I'm going to do it on a microplane. So I went ahead, I cut up just a quarter of a white onion into a small dice, and then I had 5 cloves of garlic or so. Some of them were really tiny, so I just gave those a little chop. Now, I buy the ginger, not the ginger root, so you find that in the grocery store, in the produce section, and I keep it in the freezer. It keeps really well, but you have this hard skin that's on the outside that you want to get rid of. So the way that I have found is the easiest is you just take a spoon and you just go around and you peel that rough outer layer off of your ginger. Now, we may not use all of this ginger. We'll just kind of see how it goes. We don't want to overpower, but the ginger is what gives it that Asian Chinese food, your takeout, its flavor. So of course that end piece is going to be a little bit harder. Okay, and just like that, you have your peeled piece of ginger. So we're going to get rid of our skin. That's my garbage bag that I keep. Now this is the microplane that I bought. I just got this at Walmart, and it's just like a cheese grater. It just does it in a very fine manner. So we're just going to go ahead and take our piece of ginger, and carefully, because you will cut yourself. I have been known to do that, not paying attention. And of course now I'm talking, so we're going to try not to. So you're just going to very carefully go across on here. Just a little extra piece. Now, if you don't have ginger, this is something, like I said, I just keep it in the freezer, so I have it on those occasions when I make some kind of a Asian dish. Then you can use ground ginger. You're just not going to use as much, and it won't quite be the same, but it'll still taste delicious, so go for it. If that's what you have in your kitchen, then I say, yeah, use it. I don't like to have to buy special ingredients for things unless it's something that I really want is specific. So you see how it all kind of gathered here? So we're just going to take our butter knife And I'm just going to pop that onto the cutting board. All right, and there you go. And that's probably a little over a teaspoon of ginger. I'm going to say that's enough. Now, of course, I am going to taste my food, and I will see. If it's not enough, then we'll just grate a little bit more. But I just, like I said, wanted to give you a quick little lesson on how to do that, because I know it's not something that maybe a lot of you have ever done before. Okay, so let me move all this stuff out of the way, and then we're going to get started with our pork in the skillet. All right, one of the ingredients I forgot to show you is sesame oil, and this is what I'm going to put in for whenever I do the pork. So, again, I just keep this in the refrigerator. It's something I've had in the fridge probably 6 months, if not longer than that. Again, you don't want to use a whole lot. It does have a very overpowering flavor. So we're just going to put about a teaspoon in the pan, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So I'm going to start it out at medium heat just to let that heat up a little bit. And I don't think I'm going to be using all of this pork. It's just dinner for George and I tonight. The kids aren't here. So, and it's a small bag of coleslaw. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this in half, and then I'll freeze it, and I can use it for something later. I can mix this in with my meatloaf or make burgers. If you mix the pork and the beef together, it's really delicious. You get that just really good flavor. Or I might also make my own sausage. So we're just going to let that heat up, and then, like I said, I'm going to add the pork to the pan, and we're going to start browning it. So I have the pork browning here in the skillet and that little bit of sesame oil. I am going to add just the smallest amount of salt to it. I don't want to add too much because of the amino acids. That's going to be very salty. But you still want to season your meat to bring out the flavor. So I'm just going to very lightly do that. And then, of course, cracked black pepper because, well, we really like pepper. Now, if I had some 5-spice seasoning, that I would probably use. That's not something, though, I keep in the cupboard anymore. I used to, but I don't have it. So, yeah, so we're just going to do a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to let this go just for, well, not much longer, actually. I want it to go about halfway, and then I'm going to add the onions to this. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because I still need to chop up those peppers. Now, you can omit anything, of course, that you want to, or you can always add something different. Like some mushrooms would probably be good in here. If you're not a fan of peppers, then don't add them. If you have maybe some green or red peppers in your, what do you call that? You know, the thing in the fridge. The produce drawer, I don't know. Anyways, you could add that. But again, I bought them on a whim, and so I'm terrible. I see something on sale and new. I'm like, I want to try that. So I read you can like do several different things with them. You can grill them, blister them. Like I said, it's not super spicy. And you can eat the seeds and everything. The only thing they say don't eat is the stem. So I'm going to turn that heat down to just a little above low. We're going to let that go. I'm going to chop up a couple of those peppers, and then I'm going to throw them in as well. All right, gang, we're just moving right along. This is a really quick dinner to put together. So if I had everything pre-chopped, that would have probably taken about a good, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes off of my prep time. But we're just, like I said, cruising right along. So I added those shishito peppers. I cut 3 of them. No, I'm sorry, I cut 4. Let me show you what they look like. They're not very big. So there you go. Can you see it? Oh, there we go. And I tasted one raw, and it's not spicy at all. It kind of reminds me of maybe like a mild banana pepper. So I'm just cooking those a little bit. Now, I did taste the pork, and I think I did okay. It's not like overly salty or anything, just a little bit of that flavor. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my ginger. Just going to throw that in, and also my garlic. We're going to just give that a little toss, and then we're going to go ahead and get our cabbage in. So this is probably like a 15-minute dinner. I mean, yeah, really not very long at all. So just give all that a good zhuzh. And then grab my knife and open up our cabbage. So like I said, we just happen to have this. I don't even remember why we had it in the fridge. Probably had it for another dinner that didn't get made. We had a lot of stuff going on last week with George having to go into surgery. So some of the stuff that I had gotten for dinners, it just didn't get made. And things happen. So then my goal is to try to figure out ways to make them, maybe not as the original purpose of them. And because I don't want anything to go to waste. Now this cabbage is going to cook down. So it looks kind of full now, and maybe like I don't have enough meat and stuff, but once I get the heat on it, it will wilt. So we're going to cook that just for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to add the rest of our seasonings, and that'll be it. So give me just a couple of minutes, and I'm going to get this stirred around, and we'll see how our flavorings go. All right, so I've been letting this cook. It's just been a couple of minutes, and keep stirring it around. There's not a lot of moisture in there. If I had maybe a little chicken broth, I would throw it in, but I don't, so it's okay. Like I said, you just use whatever you have, guys. I'm trying to inspire you. I'm never going to be able to really give you a specific recipe because I don't follow them. So now we're going to add some liquid aminos, and this is made from a soy protein. So one of the things on keto, they don't use a lot of soy products, or I think there's like a big thing that soy products in general are finding aren't that good for you. So coconut aminos is something that I've been reading about, and so maybe the next time I buy them, I'll get the coconut aminos. But I don't use this very often. So, I mean, I've had this jar in the fridge, again, probably, well, it's been longer than 6 months. It's probably been close to a year. So we are adding 2 tablespoons, and this is why I did not add a bunch of salt to that pork, because this is going to be salty, and we're going to taste it so we know whether or not we need a little bit more liquid aminos or not. The other thing we're going to add, just for a little bit of acidity, is going to be some apple cider vinegar. So this is the raw, so it's going to have the mother is going to be in there, which is just the what they call the little pieces. So it hasn't been filtered out, so this is better for you, good for digestion. Again, we just added a tablespoon of that, and this is just to add a little bit of an acidic note to our egg roll in a bowl. Now, it'd be nice if you maybe had something red in here to add a little bit more color. It doesn't look the prettiest, but it tastes delicious. Now, if I had some peanuts in the house, I would probably crush up a little bit of peanuts and toss in here just for a little bit of texture. I don't, and I'm going to actually look around and see if I have anything that I could maybe use for that, because I am a texture girl. I like to have a little bit of crunch when I have something that's more soft. And we're just moving it around, just kind of mixing everything. I'm going to grab my fork, and we're going to give it a little taste and see if we have enough of everything in here. Trying to make sure we get a little piece of everything. Oh, it's going to be really hot. That is pretty good. I'm actually going to add just a little bit more of our amino acids. I'm only going to add about a teaspoon just to give it a little extra oomph. And let me see here. I think I'm also going to throw in a little bit more ginger. So this is why I always say to taste your food, adjust it accordingly, so you know how it is. Because once it's on the table, it's harder to, add something to it. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to grate a little bit more of that ginger, and then I'm going to put this in a bowl, and I'll give you a final test and let you know how it is, okay? But this is it for now. That's what it looks like. Easy peasy. What has it been, like 15 minutes or so since I started doing this? Easy weeknight dinner, guys. You can do this. I have faith in you. You can do it. All right, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Hey, we're done with dinner. Again, I think that only took me like 15, 17 minutes to make, so that's great. I love quick dinners, especially during the week. So I was actually off today, so I wasn't as concerned with pre-prepping stuff, but that's definitely something that if you have a chance, then you can do something like this, really simple for your family. You can make it in bulk. It's really good leftover. Once all those flavors meld together, you know how some things are just better left over? This is one of those. So what I did is I looked around to see if I had any kind of nuts in the house. I have some almonds, and then I have some walnuts. But I bought George some cashews for his birthday. So again, he doesn't eat very many, and I told you in my last video you want to be really careful with your nuts. Measure those out. So I took 6 halves out of the bag and I chopped them up and I put them on top just so we could have a little bit of a crunch. I'm going to give it a final taste. I added about another half a teaspoon of ginger to this. I also went ahead and threw in a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit more pepper. I felt like it just needed a little bit of extra kick. So again, always taste your food. Make sure it's good for you, okay? So here we go. It reminds me of an egg roll. That's awesome. I'm really happy. I haven't made this recipe in a while. I made it a little bit differently this time than I did the last time. So I'm sorry I don't write this stuff down for you guys. This video is actually for me as well as you, so that the next time I want to make this, I can rewatch this video so I can see how I did it this time, because I'm just terrible at writing it down. All right, and it'll probably be a little bit different because I'll probably add something else or something different, whatever I have in the fridge. So that's the goal. Be inspired. Use what you have. Just think, oh, well, I have most of the ingredients. I could probably substitute that for it. Have fun in the kitchen, guys. So as always, I say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've had a great day. Be good to each other. Keep smiling. I'm telling you, I have found out over the last week or so, a smile makes a huge difference. So just paste that smile in your face when you go out, and you could really make somebody's day. All right. I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.